Scraps of yarn and lost time, fabric flows from chaos supplies.
Hi everyone, welcome back to this week's vlog. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Lisa and this is my channel where I share all my crochet goodness with you. Today is Friday and I am trying to get a few jobs done. I need to get some editing done on last week's vlog so that I can upload that tonight. I also have some correspondence to do with the consignment space. There has been a couple of little issues there and I will fill you in on that. Hopefully it will all be straightened out. And yeah, well, we have tons more Easter prepping to do, so let's get started. So I've just taken a little break. I've been doing the video editing, but it takes a lot of focus, which draws on a lot of my energy. So I'm taking a break. I'm having a cup of coffee, and I think I might have a break from doing that, and I might get into some crocheting. So I got a new pattern. And it's by Mama Stitchetti and it's for a little bunny with overalls. I think it might be more on a larger plushy size. Yeah, I'm not sure how long it'll take, but I thought I might give that a go and maybe start working on one of those if I could get some of the parts made ready for the market rather than go into a whole heap of prepping the one item, like multiple items. I might just work on one thing today, just as a bit of a break. I feel like that might be a nice way to pick my energy up again before I have to get back into some more of that editing. Last week I had a lot of brain fog and I was tired and fatigued, and I find that that makes my videos even harder to edit. I have a lot of mistakes in them, so yeah. I'm really needing this coffee to get me through it today and to really try and make something of the footage that I filmed last week. So we'll see how I go with that. The beginning of the week was kind of okay, but I did lose some footage as well somehow. So anyway, let's hope this week that my vlog is way more concise and I don't stumble over any words or even say the wrong word. When I was watching back the editing, I'm like, oh my gosh, like I do it so often, I don't even realize that my brain is switching a word around and that I'm saying something. Like in my mind, I'm saying one thing, and then when I watch it back, I'm like, that doesn't make sense, Lisa. Like you've put a totally different word in that sentence than what you thought you were saying. Anyway, I'm going to finish this coffee and then I'm going to choose out some yarn and get started on a little bit of crocheting today. And I'm feeling quite good today. I feel a lot more energetic than I have for a few days. I'm not sure how long it will last, but we'll take advantage of it while it's here. And let's hope it goes for a lot longer because I still have a lot of things that I want to achieve before my next market. Okay, let's choose some more. So I think I'm going to use some blanket yarn and the bunny is going to be grey. And I'm not sure if I should go the light blue or the dark blue for the overalls. It might be a good opportunity for me to use up the dark blue because I have a lot of that and I haven't found a lot of uses for it yet. I tend to use the light blue a lot for turtles and other things, so it'd be a good chance to use this darker blue up. So I have the grey for the bunny, the blue for the overalls, and I have some white for the highlights. I don't think I'll need a heap of that at the moment because I think it is just the tips of the hands and the feet. So we'll see how we go, but I do have some more of that white if I need it. So just checking in to show you what I've made so far. We have 2 arms and we have 2 legs that are going to be joined together soon. And then I'll make a start on the body. But for now, I'm going to have a break and have some lunch, even though it's a bit late. And then I'll get back into this. I'm not sure how much I'll do today of that. It is working up kind of quickly, so who knows? I might get a whole bunny finished this afternoon. But we'll just see, because I do have to get back into the editing and things and try and get that video up. So it might just be this for now. But a good start, and it's been nice to have a little break and get into some crocheting today. Sometimes when things are a bit stressful, it is nice just to settle in and focus on some crochet, and that kind of calms me down a little bit or refreshes my battery a little bit, so that I can tackle some of the other jobs. Anyhow, I will check out and we'll see how I go. Good morning. It's Saturday the 22nd. We are 2 weeks from our next market. So I need to get a big hurry on in my market prep, which is good because I am starting to feel a little bit better than I have in the previous couple of weeks. So that is very good news for me, and I hope it continues. So yesterday I left off and I was working on the Mum Stitch Eddie pattern for the little bunny. So this is how far I got with that. It is almost done. There's just a few more little bits to add to it. So it needs a pocket on the front. It has some little straps that go over the arms, and some little ears need to be added too. So I have to work them up today, and there's some little carrots that go in the front pocket. So far with the pattern, I found it really super easy to follow, really well laid out and really clear instructions. So that has been very good. It's all worked from, so it's worked all in one piece from the legs up. So obviously the legs and the arms are worked first, and then you join the legs and go up with the body, crochet in the arms, and then continue crocheting up with the head. So really the only sewing that's involved in this pattern will be the ears and the pocket on the front and the little straps. But I guess you could also, if you're not a big fan of sewing, you could leave off the pocket if you wanted to. You might also be able to just surface crochet in the little shoulders. In fact, it could be surface crochet for all I know, because I haven't read that far ahead yet. So we'll find out. But I think when I did a quick glance over the pattern that it was creating a chain and then sewing, like attaching it there. But yeah, I'll update you if it's different. The other thing that I didn't do was shaping the face before I stuffed it. I normally have done face shaping after I've stuffed it, and I was a little bit uncertain if I would be able to do the shaping properly because I've without it stuffed, because I've never done that before. And so I just thought I'll stick to what I know. If it doesn't shape very well stuffed, then it will just be what it is now, like a little round face, and I'm happy with that. That's fine. But yeah, so I need to be able to just kind of bring the eyes in just a little bit to create more of a little nose there. So we'll see how that goes, but I'm happy with it like this as well. So and I think I'll do a little bit of highlighting around the eyes. Yeah, I don't think it has a nose or a mouth on the pattern, so I'll probably just keep it like that as well. Yeah, and we'll see how that goes. So I do think I'm going to make another one of these. I think I'll make one in pink overalls and have the blue and the pink there. Yeah, I'm really happy with this pattern. It's really fun, and I've been eyeing off a lot of her patterns for a while and just haven't got around to trying one. So yeah, really impressed with this one, and think I would like to try some more of her patterns in the future. I'll check back in later today, hopefully. I have to upload last week's vlog, and I've been having major issues with internet. and I do upload from my phone and film from my phone, so I can't do both at once. So if I don't check back in today, it will be because my phone is tied up doing the uploading, and yeah, we'll see how we go. Hi everyone, it's Sunday morning, just checking in, a little update on how the bunnies are going. So this is the completed blue bunny, blue overalled bunny. So yeah, it did have a nose. Me going, it didn't, it did. So I did put that on because it looks cute. So yeah, the eyes have been highlighted. And yes, I did do that face shaping. So he has got a little bit of a nose indentation there. The overalls were what do you call these part of the overalls? The straps. The straps were sewed in, but you could theoretically do a surface crochet there and then a chain and then secure it on the back with another surface crochet if that's what you prefer to do. And the pocket on the front was sewn all around. The only thing with that was there wasn't like any indication of which rows or where to put things. There was a very clear picture, but I was wondering if I'd left, like whether the pocket would be too tight across his chest or whether I needed to leave a little bit of a slouch like that. But I got there in the end, and I think when I make the carrots, they will still fit in that pocket. So yeah, so that's that guy finished off, and then I started on another one. So doesn't it look great in the pink? Super vibrant. So I've made all the parts up for this one, and I'm going to finish that off this morning, and then that's all I'll do for Sunday, because it's a lovely day and the hubby and I are going to get into some sorting of our storage area. So that's what's on the agenda for today. But I will finish this one off, and yeah, I might even film some of the process if I can. All right, I'll check in with you on Monday, and I think Monday we'll need to have a big day of prepping things. So we'll see how that goes and how I'm feeling on a Monday, but hopefully we can do a really big day on that. Happy Monday. I'm just checking in very quickly to show you the completed bunny with its little carrot in its pocket. I think these turned out super cute. They do take a bit of time though, working with the blanket yarn and doing all the little extra details on them. I think it's worthwhile though, but I have tried one in a smaller size and I'll show you that. So just for fun, I decided to try some in my Zaddy Craft yarn, and it works up so cute. So I was just wondering what size it would turn out from the Zaddy Craft yarn, and it's like mini, teeny tiny. And then I thought, well, they're so cute. I might make one more and time myself making it to see if I could get if the time isn't too long on them, see if I could get a good price on them to make them for market. So I don't know if I'll make more of these yet. I really want to see, well, obviously I'm going to make one more in this blue and time it and see how long it takes, and if it takes too long, because the big bunnies, they take a fair bit of time to make, so I'll see, because if it takes equal time to one of these, then it's much better for me to do the larger one and put like a price on it that matches the size, if that makes sense. If they've similar times, people are going to be more likely to buy this one for the price rather than this one, because they're like, oh, that's small, I don't want to pay that much for such a small toy. Whereas they see this bigger one and they go, oh yeah, that's a big size toy, that's a decent price. So yeah, that's how sometimes people's mind works, even though like they're the exactly same pattern and things. Yeah, people see value, they don't understand the time that it takes for something small. Sometimes they see it as in size. Yeah, I find anyway that sometimes that is how people value things, is size, and they see a bigger toy as being worth more. Anyway, I'm going to get on to that, and I probably won't check back in today. Tomorrow I really want to get onto the Bunpeas. I know I've said that like a zillion times, but yeah, I really want to do that tomorrow. Okay, it's Wednesday today. Last time we spoke, it was Monday, and I was going to time how long these little bunnies took me to make to see if it was worthwhile making some more. I was having trouble sitting for long periods of time, and normally that isn't an issue because I use my an app on my phone as a timer, but I wasn't doing that. I don't know why, but I just thought I'd time on the clock. So I do have a rough time, but it's not super accurate because I actually got up a lot during in between things, got up and walked around and stuff. But it roughly takes about 2 hours to make one of these little bunnies, and I think it's because obviously it's a little bit smaller, things work up quicker, but also the yarn is just so much, it's like working with butter. Like it's just so, after working with the blanket yarn, which is so like inflexible and hard and you have to kind of pull on it a lot, this is just so easy to work with. So I think that also helps to make it work up quicker. And so I did make a couple more of these, and I think I'll try and make a few more as well. But I made a purple one, and I haven't attached the ears or done any of the face shaping on it yet. And I also made a blue one, and I've made the ears for this also. And I'm going to chuck them in my pile of like needs to be sewed or embroidered or whatever to be made up at a later date. Sometimes I like just to have a whole pile and just do it all at once rather than doing it as I'm going along. I don't know why, but for me that works better. My hair is just crazy today, so bear with me. So that was Monday night, and I made the ears yesterday, and what I found yesterday is that I just could not concentrate. I was making all sorts of mistakes. The ears were turning out different sizes, and I was just like, oh, this is no good. So then I switched up to doing the little bunny pattern that we've been making. I forgot the creator's name for this again. I'm so terrible. But that was that tutorial. If you didn't see last week's video, it is in that, and I will put the creator here. But I decided to make some more of these little bunnies. So I made one of those up, and I worked a bit on my blanket, and I have one more bunny half done that I think I will make up as well because they're super quick. And so that is how much I've got done. Not a great deal. So today I really want to get into the Bunpeas. I know I've been saying that like nearly every single day and not doing it, but today is going to be the day. And what I'm thinking is I might use some of my light green Zaddy Craft yarn and give that a try. I think the sun is gone now and I've just lost all the light that was beaming in. Hang on. Okay, that's better. Sorry, the sun disappeared and I lost all my lights. It was blaring in my eyes a minute ago, and the dog is barking. It was blaring in my eyes a minute ago, so I had the curtain drawn a little bit to stop it blaring, and then it went behind a cloud and I lost all that light. Anyway, let's try again. So, I know you've been hearing me say this a lot, but today I really want to work on the Bunpeas. I really do. Just to remind you what the Bunpeas are, they're a croutons crochet pattern that was a new release just recently. And what I'm thinking of first of all today is that I want to actually try them in the Zaddy Craft yarn. So make the Bunpeas out of the lighter green, and then make the shell out of this colour green that the bunnies are made in here, and see if that actually works okay, because I like this one, but I would like to see which colourway I prefer, and maybe I will do a bit of both. But I also want to just make sure before I go full production mode to make sure the Zaddy Craft yarn will fit okay with the Banjo's, Patty and Bango's yarn. I do normally work these together. They use the same hook, and so I feel like generally they work up the same size, but I just don't want to mess it up because I don't have any other Zaddy green to use, so I don't want to like make a whole heap of bunnies out of the light green and have no yarn to make the pea body thing pea capsule, I don't know, the other part with, if that makes sense. So that is what I'm going to do today. First of all is make one up and see. I won't have to make the outer shell again. I'll just make the two little bunnies and see if they fit in okay, and if they do, then I'm going to go full production line today and start making all the ears and then the heads, and then last of all the shells. So I'm thinking realistically, with the fact that I can't sit for long periods of time, that I might try to aim to make 4 of these up, which means I'll be making 16 little bunnies. No, not 16 little bunnies, 8 little bunnies, 16 little ears. So yeah, I'll see how I go with that. I know that probably doesn't sound like a whole lot to most people, but yeah, working with my capacity, that might be what I can achieve today, hopefully. But we'll see how we go. I'll check back in with you after. Hi everyone, it is Saturday. I just thought I would check in. Things didn't quite go to plan as I had hoped the other day. Probably jinxed myself saying I'm definitely going to do the Bunpeas, because about, I don't know, half an hour after saying that my husband came in and wanted to spend time with me. He had the day off and I thought he had things planned and he didn't. And so I took the opportunity to hang out with him. So I didn't actually do the Bunpeas that day. But I did work on them, and I'll show you what the ones that are in the light mintish green colour Zaddy Craft yarn look like. So just hold on. So these are the little pea bunnies that I worked up in the Zaddy Craft yarn. They're worked in the Zaddy Craft yarn. The pea pod is in the Patty and Bango's Place yarn. I think they turned out really cute. I do like them better in this colour. I don't know why. I think I just like the mint colour. So I did make up more of those. But just a reminder, that's what the other ones look like. So there is a slight difference in size. And I think it was because I chose to go with a smaller hook for this one. And then this one I used the 5mm hook. I think I may have used a 4 or a 4.5 for these ones. So that's why there's just a tiny bit of size difference. For the pea pod, I decided not to go with this colour green that these bunnies are made in because I felt like that it was a little bit too warm, and I thought that the darker green would be more on the cooler palette with the mint bunnies. So yeah, I went with that. So yeah, that's how they look. And so after making them up, I decided to make a few more. So I've made up their 6 little bunnies and they need their pea pods made. So I'm going to work on that today. So it's a really basic pattern, but for the bunny, like, you know, you're just making a circle basically and working in crocheting in the ears. So you make the ears up first, but that part, the ears, is what I find annoying about this pattern because I really don't like working with really tiny spaces with crocheting. So yeah, that part is a bit frustrating to me. Because you're working 4 into a magic ring and then working it all the way down, just 4 little single crochets. So that part I find annoying, but once I've got that out of the way, the rest of it, like the bunny making and the pea pods, that's all fine for me. There's nothing really off-putting about it to me, but just for some reason, it's just a personal thing. I just hate doing that smaller space crocheting, especially with this type of yarn, especially. But anyway, I got it done and I'm really happy with them, and I'm hoping that yeah, that they will be a popular item. And the other thing I have worked on over the last few days is my blanket. So I have added a little bit more onto that since you last saw it. So I've added on the loop stitch, and then I tried basket weave, and if you can tell, there's a little bit of a mistake in that, but I'm not going to frog it. I'm happy to just absorb mistakes along the way. It is for myself, so that's okay with me. It's all just part of learning for me. But if you're someone who likes to frog, like some people just cannot live with knowing there's a mistake in something, and I totally get that too. And I have a friend and she would totally frog that. No matter what stage she noticed that a mistake, she would undo it all. I just don't have that in me. And then I'm just doing a little orange peel stitch here at the moment. So that's how far we're going with the blanket. So on the side we've got that much done so far, so a nice big chunk of it done. I'm moving a bit quicker with this blanket because I'm not switching up stitches as much as I did on the previous blanket, so I can kind of settle in and I'm able to choose you know, what I want to do for the stitch. So I can choose things that I find you know, easy to work or interesting to work. So yeah, I'm really enjoying that so far. And it's a good little project for when I'm feeling a bit stressed or want to relax. Yeah, so the last few days I have been a little bit stressed. As I mentioned before, there was some little difficulties with the consignment space, so I will tell you all about them now. So just to refresh people's minds, in January I had a lot of backwards and forth between a consignment space in the town where I'm going to be moving to in a few months. Now this place is interstate, which for me, because I live on an island, means that I can't just go and see them. I would have to catch a plane or something to go and like see them in person. So I've been doing a lot of correspondence with them via email and a couple of phone calls. And they're a new retail space, and they are showcasing people in the area who have who are makers or artists or entrepreneurs. And they have a variety of different spaces that you can hire from them. So they have big booths, little booths, shelving, cabinets, a variety of different spaces. Originally I was interested in the booth space, but as I thought about it more, I thought it was too big an investment for me to start with, and I decided to go to 2 shelves that measured 30 by 90 centimeters. And they were happy to stock remote vendors because they're in a rural space, and their actual council area is quite a big area, and they wanted to have people participating even if they lived further out and weren't able to kind of do that commute themselves. They accepted my application early on and were under the understanding that I was not yet moved into the area, and they were okay on that. And they, I already own a home over there, and we are moving in a few months. So they accepted my, they were very eager to have me in their consignment space, and accepted my application, and I got some stock ready for them, and we did that on, on one of the vlogs previously. And, I had measured everything out for my shelving and tried to pick a mix of things. It was a very new thing for me, and I didn't know what might sell in a retail space. And the other thing I had to consider when putting things in there was that there was already a crochet person also going into the space. Actually, there's 2. One that's kind of more into clothing, and then the other one was also doing plushies, amigurumi as well. So when I saw that there was another plushie person, at the time I applied there wasn't, but I also understood that it wasn't going to be exclusive, so that was fine with me. And they were actually living in the area and got their stuff set up first, so I was able to see what things they had, and they had a lot of the stuff that I take to markets already. So things like the loaf cats and chickens and bees and axolotls, and just, a lot of the market staples, the little trunk, the turtles. So they had a lot of those things already, and they had them already in stock. So I wanted to choose things that were different from that, but also aim at more at like a retail space. So I didn't want people perhaps seeing the same things they would see at markets, because being that it was a retail space, I would have to, and I was renting that space, I would have to also put the prices up. So anything that I sold in that space would have to either absorb the cost or have it added on. And I chose to add it on because I already had a lot of my things at a very reasonable price, and I didn't want to cut that down anymore for myself. So yeah, that was all taken into consideration in what I stocked, and I sent a range of things because I really just wanted to test what was going to work in that space. So I posted the things over in a box, and I had a letter in it saying, thank you so much for stocking me, and here's my things. And I've like made a little plan of how they will fit on those shelves, and took some and I provided the photo of that, so if they're in a hurry, they could set them out quickly and it wouldn't take them a while just, you know, having to work out how to place things best. So I'd already, you know, done all that work for them if they needed it. I also was happy for them to just display them how they felt worked best at that moment. That was fine as well. So yeah, that kind of went well, and I started to sell some things, and I have a family member who lives in that area, and I asked them to go and check on my stuff when they got in there, and they really wanted to see them themselves anyway, so they were really excited to go into store and see them. And so when they first went into the store, all my stuff was sort of at the front of the store on a table. And when they talked to the people in the space, the people told them that, yes, when new products come in, we like to display them out the front first. And, you know, I was like, okay. I didn't particularly like how they looked on the table, but I was like, okay, that's cool. They're going to be like in a very visual place as new stock for people to see them as they're coming into the store. And that makes sense when you have new stock coming in, that you would place them out the front and create a new kind of visual interest in your store. So I was okay with that, even though I had no communication from them to say that's what they were going to do. In fact, the communication I got was nothing. I didn't even get any communication to say my things had arrived, but thankfully for me, I had trackings, you know, postal tracking that I could see when they arrived. So when they arrived, yeah, they're all set up. My family went in and saw them, and that was that. And then I started selling some things, and so I was quite excited about it. A couple of weeks went by, first of all, without selling anything, and that was a little bit scary, but then things started to move a little bit, and I was excited about that. And my family member went back into store for me to have a look, because she's like, they'll be on their shelf by now. I'll go back in and have a look for you. And then when she went in and had a look, she sent me a photo, and it was really, really, really disappointing. So firstly, the items, I'll move to the side and I'll stick a photo of them here. So first of all, the shelving did not match up what I was actually paying for. It was significantly smaller, and all the items were kind of jammed in and not really accessible to people when things are all like piled up and things are all in front of each other. It's not visually very appealing. You can't reach in and pick things up without a whole ton of things falling or, you know, tumbling out. And also, like, it doesn't draw you in. You just kind of look at it and think it looks like a mess and like not very interesting. So I was really disappointed to see that on like those two accounts. One, the impact it would have on my products and people actually engaging with them. And two, it wasn't what I was paying for. And going into a space like this, you actually go into contracts, and they make you sign a contract to say that you're going to be there for a certain period of time, that you will pay this amount of rent for this space, and that they will take a certain percentage. So for me, I think it's like $14 or something, for about $15 for the shelf rental, and then they get 10% of things that sell. So why that doesn't seem a lot, if your sales are being impacted because the products are all mushed together or not displayed nicely, then I'm then bearing a cost for that space without being able to really present my products in a way that will actually engage people with them and actually, you know, pay for the shelving. Like, the whole point of putting them in there is for them to sell. So, you know, and if things aren't selling and it's under normal circumstances where they're displayed nicely, that's for me to bear. But when they're displayed in a way that's not adequate, shouldn't be my burden, my financial burden to bear. So I actually emailed the owner of the space and said to her, look, it's come to my attention that this, and I supplied the photo, that this is, you know, how my items are being displayed. This is my understanding that I'm actually paying for a different shelf with these, you know, dimensions. And I went back over the dimensions. I highlighted to them that I had paid my invoice, and these dimensions were also on the invoice that I paid, and how that I didn't really like the way that this, you know, the shelving that they were in and how it displayed my items. And yeah, kind of asked them, you know, what can we do about this? And so that was really difficult for me. I don't like conflict, and it might seem like a really minor thing, but it felt kind of big for me. And also because of my health conditions, extra stress really does play on me now. Like, I used to have jobs where I dealt with stress all the time, but nowadays, little things, my nervous system just can't handle stress like it used to. Like, I really have to minimize the types of stress I have in my life as much as I can. And it's not just like negative stress, it's excitement and things that are positive as well actually still have a negative impact on me. So I do, you know, it's not like I stop doing things because, you know, that they're going to impact on me, but I do try and take into consideration how that will affect me afterwards. But anyway, so yeah, I sent that off, and they were very quick to respond, and they were very apologetic, and they explained that they had some things going on in the shop, and that the shelving that they had originally allocated was actually being blocked by scaffolding, and there was some other like construction and things like that which had impacted, and that they refunded the rent that I had paid for the previous month, which I felt was a very good way to mediate that situation. I still wasn't extremely happy with the fact that they had put my things into a space and there had been no communication about that, because I'm a really understanding person. And if they said to me, oh look, your shelves are actually being impacted by something and we're going to have to put you in a temporary shelf for a short amount of time, I would have probably said, yeah, fine, but like, let's negotiate that space, like how big is it and like what I'm willing to pay. I probably wouldn't have asked for free shelving. I probably would have said, well, let's negotiate this, and probably tried to organise a way for things to be displayed better than they were. In the picture, not all of my stock was able to be displayed on those shelves too. So there's things missing from that picture that must be elsewhere in the store. So that was also like never communicated to me, although I could see in other people's reels on Instagram my things in the background in different places in the store, which hadn't been communicated to me either. But now, knowing what was going on, I understand that. But yeah, the communication was quite poor, and I do understand that it's a new business and they've got a lot of things on their plate, but it could have really, you know, it's affected my trust. Because there wasn't a lot of transparency. So yeah, that caused me a bit of stress, and I was happy that they'd refunded the rent, and I got another email from them earlier this week, and they've set my items up on new shelving, and I'm much happier with this shelving. But I was concerned because it didn't look the depth that they're telling me again. In the fact that it is supposed to be 25 centimeters by 110 centimeters, and it doesn't look that in the photo to me. And I have asked them to confirm that it is that depth, and they have today confirmed to me that it is. So I have to go off of that. until I get over there and can actually confirm it that it is what they're saying, but I still do not think it is. And those things do impact on how deep a space is, impacts on how much stock you can put in there, what size it is. So for the new space, I will make some changes to that as well. I think it's up higher than I thought it would be, which is fine. I'm fine with having a space up higher, but some of the little products that I'd aimed at children be engaging with and maybe being within a child's budget to buy probably aren't going to be engaged with up at that height. So I probably will remove them from that space. The coasters and the cup cozies kind of are taking up space, that could be better used on there. So I'm going to remove them. The turtle is too big in that space. Like, it worked better on that 30 centimeter shelf space because it could sit like forward. It didn't have to be on its side, and even on its side in that space it's hanging over. So in the future I will be thinking of those dimensions in the products that I make and making sure that they fit better in that space. So I'll be trying to work some more stock that's in the large and medium size, which actually works with what has been selling there. So Potato Bear sold, my little astronaut sold, what else sold? The monkey sold. I've had a couple of small items sell, like the turtle and a crocodile, but they actually went to family members who came in and bought them. So I don't even though they are sales, I'm not going to take them as general public sales. So yeah, there's been a few items. I feel like I'm forgetting something else that sold. I have a little bit of an understanding of what's sold now, so I will replace those items with new items, and I may restock those items as well. But yeah, so it caused a bit of stress, and with my ADHD I tend to get a little bit negative. So because I feel a really strong emotion about something, and I really felt like they were taking advantage of me not being there and not knowing what was going on and thinking they could put me in this space and charge me for it. And I really had to sit down and talk to myself and be like, okay, deep breath. You don't know the circumstances, and most people in the world are actually doing their best, and they are actually good. And although it might feel that way, it doesn't actually mean it is that way. And so I really did have to think about it and be like, okay, things happen. A new business, it's busy, give them the benefit of the doubt and push through it. So it has disrupted me a little bit the last few days, and I have been doing a lot of work on my blanket because I find that really quite soothing to be working on that, especially when I'm having all this, I really was ruminating a little bit too much on it. But getting another email today and, confirmation that is actually the shelving, the shelving this time actually is the dimensions that they've said. And, just having that little bit of back and forth and stuff has helped me feel a little bit better about the situation. And, I'm just going to continue to persevere with it, and it's all part of the learning. But I guess I just wanted to share it in the fact that sometimes things won't go smoothly either. Yes, I'm having some sales. They were slow to start. I've had a few recently. They might go slow again. Who knows? But yeah, it's also not smooth sailing when you're working with other people, and there are other things that impact on it, and sometimes communication impacts on that. And yeah, so that's been my experience with that space so far. I am still happy to be there and excited to, now I have confirmed these will be permanent shelves for me. I can kind of cater my stock to the shelving that I'm on, knowing like what level it is and how things might display in that space. So that part of it has been good to really nut that out. And I do like the shelving. I think it's lovely. And yeah, we'll see how we go going forward, but we'll, you know, I'll take you guys along the way with me, and yeah, in all the ups and downs, and we'll see how it goes at the end. So yeah, that's what that's been like. So I've also had some family down, and we've been doing some clearing on the land that we where we're living at the moment, and we had a massive bonfire last night, which was really cool and not something we get to do very often. And yeah, that was just a nice night, and I really enjoyed that. So I might put a little bit of footage in so you can see. Basically, I think it's been an up and down kind of week, and I haven't really hit the things I wanted to with my market prep this week, but we're not traveling too bad. I will finish those Bunpeas off today, and yeah, we'll pick up you know, Sunday tomorrow, and that will be a week to the market. So next week is going to be all stations go, finishing all those little bits and pieces. Yeah, we've got a few more items to make. We have a lot of like sewing together and embroidery to do, and we'll have to lay everything out, and just so much. It's going to be a busy week, so stay tuned for that. And thank you to everyone who has been watching and leaving me great comments. I've had some really good suggestions of different things, ideas around what I can do with that beanie from last week's vlog that was too big for me. There were some suggestions around like being able to glue it up a little bit, so that hot glue it, and so that it would the sides would stay up. And then someone else suggested that I didn't need to unravel it, frog it, that I could actually just keep it and it would work for somebody else, which I hadn't really thought about. And yeah, it doesn't work for me, but there might be someone else that it really works for, so I will put that in the donation pile. Yeah, so lots of lovely comments, so thank you so much, and I'll see you all next week. If you're new and you have gotten this far, please subscribe and leave me a comment and say hi. I love hearing from everyone. Okay, bye.